Good morning, Martin Meisenheimer with you. And do you struggle in your network marketing company with talking to professionals about your business? If you do, you definitely want to stay tuned. I've got with me today author Dale Moreau. He's written a book called Network Marketing for Professionals, How to Get Professionals on Your Side. And I'm just going to jump in real quick with a question for Dale right off the reel. Dale, you wrote in the beginning of your book, a professional a day is a difference between being broke and being rich. That really grabbed my attention. Tell us more about that.
Well, the reason a professional works better than going after someone that isn't so much a professional is one, professionals are looking for opportunities. Two, they know how to make money. Three, they have money to spend. In other words, you're not going to get the excuse, well, I don't have any money. So those are the three reasons that you want to go after professionals. And they're easier to talk to than most other people. You don't have to convince them. You know, everybody is pre-sold on something. Well, professionals are pre-sold on making more money. They're pre-sold on security. They're pre-sold on if you're in health and wellness. They're pre-sold on having good health. They want all those things. And they're pre-sold on even travel and so many other things. We don't have to do a lot of convincing with a professional. All we have to do is find the right words that actually speak to that one professional, and that's easy to do because there's formulas that we can use to help us do that.
And wow, you touched on so many rich, juicy topics just right there. I can't wait to dive in deeper. So one of the things that I like, which you just said there, is that there's formulas. So we don't have to create this. I think a lot of people in this space, whether they're network marketing or they're doing any other type of online marketing, affiliate marketing, direct sales, we have this tendency to think that we need to create something that's never been done or said before, right? But you're here to tell us that that just simply is not true.
That's right. The key is finding these key words and phrases that cause triggers in people to happen. Now, there's a psychology behind it. Mm-hmm. There's a key phrase like this, I am just curious. Now, that word right there, the reason it works is because when I say I'm just curious, they're going, oh, okay. In their mind, and this is what happens in the back of their mind, they're going, oh, well, I better listen to this because it might have something to do to help me survive another day. There's this survival instinct in everyone. We want to survive at any cost. And what happens is when they say, I'm just curious, they said, okay, you've heard of the phrase, the curiosity killed the cat?
Sure.
Well, there's that little thing that goes in the back of their mind that says, okay, I better lean in and listen because you might have something important to say. Just little phrases like that.
Yeah. And so whether it's written as text in the virtual world or it's spoken.
That's right.
Either in a video or an audio or face-to-face networking, it works the same, correct? It's either a scroll stopper online or you're in a face-to-face networking meeting, and whatever the situation, whatever the media, it's going to grab someone's attention, get them to say, I need to pay attention to this person.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another little phrase is called, by the looks of things. That's a magic little phrase. And the reason that it works so well is because people, when they hear that phrase, one, it's a familiar phrase. It's a familiar phrase. Familiarity has a tendency to create rapport. So when they're familiar with something, it automatically, oh, well, I can let down my guard and I can trust you. But it also means that they have to focus on what's coming next. And what we do is, by the looks of things, it looks like, by the looks of things, raises are going to come this year very slowly. Well, if that's a true statement about that prospect, immediately they're going to focus only on that raise.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of those little magic phrases. I've got tons of magic phrases that I can use to actually create a conversation.
Yeah, and for the benefit of the audience, I can tell you, having read this book, the book is just chock full of these golden nuggets that I would say. that are these phrases that are designed with a whole lot of psychology behind it. These aren't just kind of willy-nilly. These are really proven to have a
That's right.
psychological impact.
Every one of them have been proven.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this book is it's just full of those kinds that they're easy to remember, they're not complicated, and you can start implementing them today. Just immediately, you read the book, oh, here it is, and the next person you talk to, there you go.
That's
so
right.
You've already given us so much. I think we've probably gotten people's attention here. I want to go into deeper detail on a lot of the things that you just touched on. Before we do that, I'd like to get a little bit about your background, how you got to where you are today. How'd you get started in network marketing? Did you have a career before that? And kind of, give us a little bit of that background.
I did have a career before that. For 15 years, I was a medical coder. Now, if you don't know what a medical coder is, if you go to your doctor today and he gives you a diagnosis about whatever it is, let's say it's the flu. Well, there's this code that that doctor has to put upon a claim in order for that insurance company to pay you.
Right.
And now, personally, I think it's a waste of time, but it pays great money. Okay. And I was a medical coder. I did that for 15 years. I was actually a supervisor of 25 medical coders, but I had a horrible boss. He was just bad. He was just yell at you every day. Nothing was ever right. I just had to put up with that 15 years. One day and besides that, I was driving 80 miles one way to go to work.
Wow.
And then driving back that night. And it was interfering with my life. I was bringing work home. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
So one night I just got tired and I said, I got to find something. This is in 2008.
2008. Okay.
In 2008, I started looking for something else. I didn't really know what else I could do. But I found this little ad online, and this is when the internet was just getting started.
Yeah.
And I found this little ad online. Turned out it was a person that I knew in my hometown. Mm-hmm. And he had this home meeting. Back then, they had home meetings.
Sure.
So I went to this home meeting, and he introduced me to network marketing. And I joined this one company, and then he quits. He quits a month later. I'm the only one that joined under him. I had no one else to turn to. I didn't know what to do. For 1 year, I failed. I went out there and tried on my own, and I failed. Then I came across Tom Big Al Schreider. Mm-hmm. Tom Big Al Schreider was my mentor. He was the one that actually taught me what to say. Yeah. And in 6 months, and this was a year later. Now, this was going in 2009. In 2009, I started taking what he taught, and I literally took it to heart. And I went into every restaurant in town, and I would talk to waiters and waitresses. And I just used a little phrase, ever feel like your weekends or ever feel like work messes up your weekends? Yeah. That was the phrase I used.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, because they have to work weekends. Sure. So I'm actually going to say yes.
Yeah.
So, and I said, well, would you like to do something about it? Like, yeah. And then, I would say, well, I show people how to take 5-day weekends at full-time pay. If you'd ever like to know how, I'd be glad to show you. Mm-hmm. And they go, oh, of course. And that's how I got started. And within 6 months, I had 60 waiters and waitresses under me. Wow. And I was making enough money to quit my job.
Wow. That's fantastic. What a great story. Did you actually go in and eat a meal first and talk to them?
I'd buy a drink, coffee or tea or something.
All right. So you didn't have to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of money. It was just get a waiter to talk to me, and let's see what happens.
So I love that strategy. Were you the kind of person that felt comfortable talking to people in the service profession beforehand? Or?
No, I was a person that was put in the bottom of a basement, hidden behind, and I never really talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I had to learn how to talk, because if you don't know how to talk in this business, you're not going to make it. I'm going to give you the sad truth about it. Hiding behind a computer and doing it online, I have news for you. That doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
have to get out there and talk to people. And back then, of course, the internet was just now getting started for the internet marketing business, for the network marketing business. So there wasn't a lot of, online stuff for network marketing. But I got out there and I just talked. Like I said, I did that every day. I talked to 10 people a day, 10 people a day. And if you can find 10 people a day to talk to, and the reason I wrote the books that I have, I've got several books, but the reason I wrote them, and I've got one coming out next week called Words Every Network Marketer Needs. So that will be out next week. And then I'm working on another one called Conversations Every Network Marketer Needs. That'll be out too. But if you don't know how to talk to people, you're going to fail in this business.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that Tom Big Al Schreider taught me, is how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, from what I'm hearing from you, there's hope for the introverts out there, correct?
That's right. There
And
is
the reason I
hope.
bring that up is because, from my experience, I feel like there are, well, I think the world is populated with more introverts than extroverts in general, but I think that a lot of them end up getting into online marketing because, as you've described, they feel inhibited, and
Right.
they gravitate to this industry because they do feel like as if they could hide behind the screen and somehow still be effective and ultimately successful.
And 90% of them will fail. 90% of them with online marketing will fail.
And that's because they don't know how to speak to people.
That they don't know how to speak. This is the secret about network marketing. Network marketing, 80% of it's done in your hometown. The other 20% is done online.
Hmm.
That is the true statistics of network marketing. I hate to burst a lot of people's bubble because they think that getting online, they're going to become rich. I have news for you. You're not going to make it if you don't talk to people in your hometown.
Good point. So tell us again, let's go back to your strategy when you were just getting off the ground, getting
Sure.
there every single day, talking to 10 people. Another thing I want to talk about, since a lot of people will immediately say, oh, I could never do that. Well, how long did it take you? How much time did it take you on a daily basis and you were still full-time employed at this point?
I was still full-time employed. So I'd come home late at night. I'd go to these restaurants that were still open. And even in the town that I worked in, I worked in San Antonio, Texas. I lived in a little town called Kerrville, Texas. That's 80 miles away. So I had to go into restaurants during my lunch hour, whatever time I could find, and I just talked to people. You just do it,
Yep.
and it's so easy to when you know little formulas. You just follow the formula, folks. It's not that hard. It's
Yeah.
just repetition of the same formula. That's a duplicable system,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
that you can use. Uh, Let me tell you the key to talking.
Please do.
The key to talking is three things.
Okay.
One, find if a prospect has a problem. That's the first one. Second one, find if the prospect wants to fix the problem. And the third is you offer a solution to fix the problem. And all we do in order to find a problem, we have to ask questions. Now we don't ask complicated questions. We ask little tiny questions. And here's some magic phrases that you can use. Ever feel like? That's one. Hate how? That's another one. Do you find? That's another one. So ever feel like you're not making enough money?
Yeah.
You know?
Who's gonna say no, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who's going to say no? Okay. Well, the minute they agree with you, we built rapport
Hmm.
and we located a problem because they're not making enough money.
Yeah. I
Okay.
love the way I love the way you do that, because so many people in the network marketing space feel like they have to build rapport forever,
Oh,
on and on and on and on. And most people have very it's a very big skill to be able to then pivot from rapport building to getting to the.
No, I just built rapport the minute I asked the
Yeah,
statement.
it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I've just asked rapport. In fact, I say, I'm just curious. Ever feel like you not making enough money?
Mm, yeah.
You know, I'm just curious. Ever feel like you're not making enough money? Well, no, I'm not making enough money.
Yeah, and then
Would you like? Then my next question is, well, would you like to do something about it?
I like the way you start by saying, "I'm just curious," because it brings people's defenses down,
That's
doesn't it?
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm just curious. And then the second one is, would you like to do something about it? And that's finding if they want to fix the problem.
Okay. Do you get people that sometimes say, "Nah, I'm good. I'm all
That's
set."
right.
And
Then
so it's
the
quick.
conversation ends.
Yeah. So you're sorting really
That's
quick,
right. You're
very
sorting.
efficient, very efficient.
Very rarely will you find someone who doesn't want to fix the problem.
Sure.
Okay, rare. That's rare. So you find if they want to fix the problem, then you offer a solution. And the solution is a little magical phrase. There are two of them actually. I just found out how to, and I show people how to.
Mm-hmm.
I show people how to make more money than the boss. I just found out how to make more money part-time than the boss does full-time. If you'd ever like to know how, this is the closing statement. If you'd ever like to know how, be glad to show you. And just, that's it. Those three little sentences right there will make you a ton of money.
What's a typical response from that sequence right there? And so, for instance, if people start wanting to immediately hear the presentation, the
They
pitch.
want to hear a presentation, so you give what is called a short story. So
Great.
here's the short story. You know, for instance, if a person is not making enough money, we go, well, here's the short story. You know, everyone wants to make enough money, but not everyone can. Okay, we need a business. You know, and start a business part time, and you'll have extra income to make more money than the boss. And just a little phrase like that. Now, that's not a lot of information for them, but it's enough to get them wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they say yes to that, I go into what is called a 2-minute story. Now, a 2-minute story, there's a formula for that. That's in the book. I'm not going to get into all that because that would take more time than probably we have.
Okay.
But the 2-minute story is very key because we don't have to send people to a website. We don't have to send people to a video. We can give them the actual presentation right there on the spot.
Interesting. Wow. So that's interesting because so much of this space, that the training is all about piquing someone's curiosity, and then if they're open, you send them videos.
No.
You're saying
And
no.
they won't go see the video, and they won't go see the website. No, you get them all the information. Look, people have already made up their mind before that presentation. All the presentation does is add icing to the cake. And that is where all you have to do is, let me show you how easy it is. There are 3 questions in a presentation every prospect wants answered. What kind of business are you in? How much money can I make? What do I have to do to earn the money? Those are the 3 questions. Now, let me show you how easy it is to give a presentation.
Okay.
What kind of business are you in? We're in the health and wellness business. How much money can you make? $100,000 a year. What do I have to do to earn the money? All you have to do is find enough people to take our products every day, and you will earn an extra income of $100,000 a year. I just gave a presentation.
Mm. Right.
But if we add that information into a story, and what we call the 2-minute story, it makes it even more interesting.
Okay.
And we've answered all 3 questions in that presentation.
And so you're coming right out with, here's how much money you could make. There's nothing, you're not trying to skirt that issue. You're just going to address it head on. And in terms of compliance and that sort of thing, how does that fit into the necessary regulations about the compliance?
Because the way we base income is not upon packages that you sold. It's based upon products sold
Okay.
and services sold. And there's a formula for doing that. For instance, all we have to do is find the best selling product that we have. That will be the retail price. We want to find the retail price. We want to find the wholesale price. That is the price that you buy it at as a team member. So let's say the wholesale price is $100. The retail price is $100. The wholesale price is $50. That's $50 profit. 100 from 50 is $50 profit. We use that figure for the basis of finding out how much money people want to make. So let's say they want to make $5,000 a month. We divide 50 into 5,000, and what's that? 100 people.
Sure.
That's 100 people. So it's going to take them 100 people taking product every day to make $5,000 a month. And that is incorporated into the story. That's what keeps you in regulation,
Gotcha.
in compliance.
Okay, makes sense. So tell us a little bit more about why it was necessary to write a book specifically about speaking to professionals. Are there differences in how you approach a professional versus any other?
Yeah, there is. It goes back to, you have to find that particular problem for that particular person. And there's ways that you can do that before you go into a setting. Now, I always prepare myself before I go into a setting, into a professional setting. And what I do is I use Google search. And there's another search engine called duckduckgo.com.
Right.
Okay, I use both of those to find problems for a particular profession. You got to understand, in a professional, their identity is tied up in their profession, and it's hard to separate their identity from that. Mm-hmm. So what we want to find is a problem associated with their profession. And all you have to do is go on Google search and find out, problems associated with being a computer analyst, with being an IT director, with being whatever it is, insurance salesman. All we have to do is go on Google search and find those. And then we're gonna find 3 big problems that are associated personally with being one of these professions. Okay. And then I pick the one that I think is the most painful. Okay.
Yeah. How do you arrive at that one? Is there a certain strategy?
There's no. It's really a matter of just common sense.
Yeah.
For instance, an insurance salesman, is this more painful? Is it, one, the stress of the job, or is it living on commissions that we never know what the next payday is going to be? Which one do you think that is?
I would think the payday.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's that one.
Yeah.
So that's the one we choose, and then we use the formulas that I created and just insert the problem into the formula and then put the solution into the formula, and you've got a way of talking.
That's great. It's brilliant. And I would imagine that if we were to do what you described, how you got yourself started, just by virtue of the repetition, you were going after 10 a day, all in the same industry. So in a pretty short period of time, you're getting the feedback. So if you're on the right track, or you need to adjust whatever that thing should be.
May have to tweak something, you have to tweak it, and that's okay.
But just get out there and get started doing it. And if you're imperfect, so what? You can adjust as you go.
That's right. No one cares how imperfect you are. They really don't.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, the way I set up a conversation is so natural. It's natural. It's not like we're being intrusive or invasive on another person's social conversations, where it's just like natural talk.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. It feels very conversational. And, I think so many of us struggle with working up the courage because we don't want to come across as salesy. There's nothing salesy about this approach, right?
None. We
And
never want to come across as being salesy.
yeah, and the other thing that I think from talking to others in the industry, when we talk specifically about going after professionals, whether they're doctors, lawyers, accountants, architects, you name it, I think people have a heightened anxiety because they feel like maybe there's an imbalance in power, and maybe part of that is derived from something you pointed out earlier. You said that professionals are actually looking for an opportunity, and I think that many of us probably feel opposite of that. Like, okay, well, someone who's got a six-figure income already, clearly they're not my target audience. But you're going to tell us that's not true, right?
It's just simply not true.
Yeah.
They're always looking for another way to put some of their money into something, to make a little bit extra money. And maybe you never know their needs. I had one insurance salesman who wanted to actually get network marketing because he wants to leave something for his son. I had a doctor who wanted to get network marketing because his wife, felt like she needed to work, and this is something that she could do. So you never know the needs of these people until you talk to them. You'll be surprised at how many professionals want an extra income. And you'll be surprised how many business owners hate what they're doing.
Interesting.
The restaurant owners are some of the people that just hate what they do.
I would imagine it's because in that industry, if you own a restaurant, you're really married to that.
That's right. You are married to it.
And
the job owns you, not you owning the job.
Yeah. And no one wants to work those kinds of hours, right?
No.
Yeah. Another thing that I found really interesting in your approach is the way the presentation is structured. It goes rapport, icebreaker, close, give the presentation.
That's right.
And I think that's, for most people, a little bit surprising because most people feel like, whoa, wait a minute, you're going to do those 3 steps and then give the presentation?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Tell us why. Why does this work?
Well, because you got to understand each layer is built upon the other. So a person is going to say yes to the first statement, yes to the second statement, yes to the third statement, and then they're going to want to know details. There are 5 trigger questions that everyone wants to know. That's in the back of everyone's mind. One of the trigger questions is, give me the details. One is who are you? That's the first trigger question. The other one is, what do you do? That's the second one. The third one is, do I want what you have or not? And the fourth one is, are you able to deliver? The fifth one is, can you give me the details? And people want details. So a presentation gives the details. And you have to understand what kind of details a prospect wants. They don't want a lot of details. They just want the 3 questions I told you earlier answered. What kind of business are you in? How much money can I make? And what do I have to do to earn the money? Those are the details.
It's very simple.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So tell us about, it seems to me this, in addition to being very straightforward and easy to implement, how about duplication? It seems like this is something that's just really
it's duplicable. The reason why is because if you can learn a formula, you can duplicate. We're learning a system. This is a system.
Yeah.
And systems are easy to duplicate, and the thing is, it gives people enough flexibility to add their own stuff to it. They don't have to be stuck in one single mode. They have the flexibility to be creative on how they approach these things.
So it's not so much a script as it is some words, as you've talked about, some magic phrases, some words that are psychologically powerful and
That's right.
have the ability to persuade.
That's right.
So, but once you've got that, you have some ability to maybe be creative, improvise a little bit around
Right.
structure.
And it controls the conversation. That's one of the things if you lose control of the conversation, you've lost the game. So you get to control the conversation, and the way you control it is the way that I told you is you start out with finding a problem. You start out to see if they want to fix the problem, and it offers solution. In other words, you're controlling that entire process by the conversation, by you starting out with the conversation.
That makes a lot of sense, and it would seem that would help a lot of people just bring down some of the anxiety that they feel
right.
approaching people. But some of the anxiety is really just about what if they say this, what if and being able to know that I have the tools to keep control of where this is going would probably put a lot of people at ease and make them much more prone to going out there and talking to more
people. Right. Yeah, that's right.
This is great.
Believe me, most people, they're not coming to you to object. They're not out there trying to find objections. That's not in their nature. They just want to know. They want to know information. The minute they ask you a question, give it to them. If they ask me how much it is, here's what I say. Least amount is this, most amount is this. That's it.
Yep.
You don't have to go into a lot of details.
Yep.
If they say, what's the name of the company? My company is XYZ.
No big song and dance, just curious.
Yeah,
yep.
That's it. You answer their questions. Don't be afraid to say, oh, I can't tell you. Oh, I can't tell you how much it costs. I can't tell you what the name of my company is. Yeah. I'm afraid you'll go out on the internet and find bad stuff about us. No, tell them.
Yeah, and really that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on today, Dale, was just my objective with all the interviews that I do here is really about bringing value to the audience and heightening the whole industry in general, because everything that you've described about this system, there's nothing that's hidden or that you're waiting to spring on people at future time. It's just, here it is, here's what I do. If you're open to it, great. If not,
that's right.
All good.
All good. That's right.
Yeah. Great. And so you mentioned that you've got the next book coming out next week.
Yes.
How is that different from network marketing for professionals?
Well, this is for actually people, not so much professionals. This have to do with everyday people that you meet. One of the things that I encourage people to do is to go into, for instance, just a regular job holder, not a professional per se, not an insurance agent or somebody like that, but just an ordinary person that's maybe working retail, a clerk, grocery store clerk, something like that. How to talk with them and get them involved in your business, because they make great teammates. They really do.
I imagine it would, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what this book is out. Then I have the one conversations every network marketer needs. This actually shows you a breakdown of every conversation that you can have in 4 lines of talking to anyone.
Wow. Again, I love how things are broken down into very simple components that anyone can learn quickly and start to implement. Dale, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you think the audience ought to know about? Any questions you wish I had asked her?
No, I mean, pretty much that's the simplicity of my system is what I've just explained. I don't make it complicated. Oh, one of the things that I can throw this out as a little bonus.
Okay.
This is the way you train people. Okay. There are actually, the way I train my people is because I want to get them used to talking. I don't get them on the internet. That's not what I do.
Okay.
I send people out, and so I give them 4 lines to learn.
Okay.
Okay. And the first one is this, they go, I'm just curious. Ever feel like the job doesn't pay enough? That's the first line. And I want them to go into a store, and I want them to walk up to an employee and say, I've been observing you, and excuse me, I take that back. Here's what the first line is. First line is, I've been observing you, and by the looks of things, you're a natural at what you do. You're good at it. And that's the first line. Then I want them to walk out and not say a word.
Oh, wow.
I want them to walk out and not say, I want to go back to the same employee the next day. And I want to give them the second line. Remember me, how we talked yesterday? Yeah. Well, I'm just curious. Ever feel like the job doesn't pay enough? And very rarely will you get a no. Very rarely. So they go, yeah. And just say, okay, I don't have a lot of time right now. I'm going to come back later. Walk out. Next day, you go back to that same employee and you say, would you like to, we talked yesterday, you mentioned that you're not making enough money. Just curious, would you like to continue holding on to the problem? Would you like to do something about it? And that's the third day they say that. And they say, well, I want to do something about it. Then we go into the close. The close is, well, I'm just, I show people how to make more money than the boss. If you'd ever like to know how, I'll be glad to show you. That's it. That's the 4 statements. And if they say yes to that, then I give them a short story.
Okay.
That's the other line. We give them a short story, and that's how I actually train my team, and they get great results. See, you want them to get results starting day 1. Yeah. And it's not so much getting a new team member onto the deal. It's getting them to listen that there are people that will say yes to what they say. They say yes, they'll thank them. The first statement, they'll thank them. That's a yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. That's a yes. Second statement, they're going to say, yes, I'm not making enough money. Third statement, they're going to say, yeah, I'd like to know more about it. And when they hear that's the results they get in the first 4 days. And by the 5th day, we're going to have a customer. We're going to have a team member.
Awesome. So they're getting, right from the get-go, they're getting some positive reinforcement by hearing some yeses.
And I make them do that to 5 people a day. 5 people. And they go back, just 5 people the first day. That's all they have to do is find 5 people. And they can do it in one store. They go to a Walmart, they can go to a grocery store, they can do whatever. I want them to go and just talk to someone and go back the next 5 or 4 days and talk to those same people. And then if one says no, they go find another one to replace him. See? But that's how I train my team members, and it gets them used to hearing yes, 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 and they realize, oh, this is easy.
Okay.
See, we're giving them micro steps, not baby steps, but micro steps.
Yeah, but that's remarkably simple. It's good stuff. All right. So we'll be on the lookout for that book coming out next week. In the meantime, those who are looking for more about what you do and how you do it, where can you be found?
I can be found at dalemoreau.net.
dalemoreau.net, and that's MOREAU.
EU.net. That's correct.
Net. This has been so full of valuable information. I love this stuff. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to benefit from hearing this. And Dale, I just can't thank you enough for taking some time out to share it all with us this morning. It's been great.
Well, no problem. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much, Barton.
It's been my pleasure and my honor. Thanks, Dale. And until next time, my name's Martin Meisenheimer. We'll talk again soon.
Bye.
Bye now.